The piercing shriek that tore through my lake cabin was music to my ears as $3,000 worth of tailored suit became a sopping, neon green mess. That was the moment Karen Mitchell, our ruthless HOA president, learned that breaking into my home was a catastrophic misstep. She thought she could waltz in for a surprise inspection to bully me off my family's lakefront retreat, but I had a trap she never saw coming. Little did she know, this was just the start of a battle that would expose her corruption and shake our quiet community to its core. It was a mundane Tuesday afternoon, my fingers flying across the keyboard, debugging code for a client, when my phone buzzed with a security alert. I assumed it was another raccoon tripping the motion sensors around my cabin at Cedar Lake. But when I tapped the notification, my blood ran cold. There was Karen Mitchell, the self-proclaimed queen of our HOA, strutting across my property with 2 lackeys in tow, snapping photos and sneering. I cranked up the volume on my phone. "This place is a disgrace," Karen sneered into her live stream, her voice dripping with disdain. "The roof tiles are non-compliant. That wind turbine? Unapproved. And that mailbox? A total eyesore." I watched, a mix of amusement and fury bubbling inside me as she ranted about property values. She had no right to be there, but Karen always acted like laws were beneath her. Then, she did the unthinkable. She tried the back door, which I'd left unlocked for a delivery. Without hesitation, she pushed it open and marched inside, still broadcasting to her HOA minions. "As president, I'm authorized to inspect for covenant violations," she declared. That's when something in me snapped. She had no such authority, not legally, not morally. After a break-in last year, I'd rigged my cabin with what I called the intruder's regret, a motion-activated paint cannon filled with non-toxic, neon green paint. It was meant as a half-joking deterrent, but now, it was showtime. With a smirk, I hit the emergency button on my app. The chaos was glorious. My screen showed the cannon, hidden in a rustic shelf, springing to life. Karen spun toward the noise, her smug grin morphing into horror as a blast of green paint drenched her from head to toe. Her pristine suit looked like a melted lime popsicle, and her scream could have shattered glass. Her phone, dropped in panic, gave her viewers a close-up of her ruined stilettos. Her cronies bolted, terrified of becoming collateral damage. Karen stumbled out, a fluorescent nightmare, leaving a trail of green footprints. I saved the footage, barely containing my laughter. Within half an hour, Sheriff Tom Reynolds arrived, his face a mix of amusement and exasperation. Karen, still dripping paint, pointed a stained finger at me. "He assaulted me. Arrest him." I calmly explained the security alert and showed Tom the footage of her illegal entry. "Mrs. Mitchell," he said, struggling to keep a straight face, "HOA rules don't trump state trespassing laws. You needed permission or a court order to enter." Karen's face twisted, almost as green as her outfit. "This isn't over, Mark," she hissed, storming off to her gleaming SUV, leaving a neon trail. But it was far from over. 2 weeks later, a letter from the HOA slapped me with a $5,000 fine for unauthorized security devices and assault. I fired back with a formal response, including the damning footage, citing state laws on property rights. Their reply? They ignored my evidence and doubled the fine to $10,000 for defiance. That's when I realized Karen wasn't just after my money. She wanted my cabin, the sanctuary my grandfather built after World War II, the place my dad and I swore to protect. It was personal. Fury simmering, I called my friend Jake Larson, a real estate lawyer who'd helped me buy the cabin 3 years ago. "They can't just invent fines," I growled. Jake sighed. "HOAs have too much power, Mark. Did you sign their covenant?" I racked my brain, recalling the whirlwind of closing documents. "I don't think so. The cabin was already built. I don't remember any HOA agreement." Jake perked up. "If you never signed, Karen's rules might not apply. Let me dig into your paperwork." The harassment escalated. Workers blocked my driveway with a road maintenance sign, forcing me onto a 20-minute forest trail to reach townhome maintenance in sight. Then came a flurry of violation notices. My cedar trees were too tall, my cabin's paint was unapproved, my security system required committee approval. Each carried a $2,000 fine, totaling $11,000 in weeks. When a storm exposed a roof leak, I applied for repair permits, only to be denied for aesthetic concerns. I patched it myself in pouring rain, my dad's words echoing, "You can fix anything, son, unless you quit." Then, a neighbor changed everything. Ellen Harper, a 70-year-old widow who'd lived at Cedar Lake forever, waved me over one morning. Over coffee, she revealed Karen's true game. She's been forcing people out for years, Mark. Your cabin's the crown jewel for a luxury resort deal with Pinnacle Properties. Ellen showed me an HOA newsletter touting community upgrades, with Pinnacle as a partner. She explained how Karen had driven out 7 owners with relentless fines, forcing them to sell cheap. She took my daughter's cabin last year. Ellen said, her voice breaking. I'm telling you because someone needs to stop her. That night, staring at my dad's photo beside my grandfather's military badge, I vowed to fight. This cabin, built brick by a war hero, wasn't just a house site, it was our legacy. A chance meeting at the Lakeside Cafe introduced me to Lisa Carter, Karen's former assistant, fired for questioning shady finances. Lisa revealed Karen's embezzlement through fake contracts and her stake in Pinnacle, inherited from her late husband. She also exposed Karen's cousin, Deputy Mayor Greg Foster, who fast-tracked permits illegally. Lisa had kept emails and records proving Karen planned to turn my cabin into a resort centerpiece. Another ally emerged, Rachel Brooks, a reporter with the Cedar County Tribune. Overhearing my talk with Lisa, she offered to investigate. I've been chasing Karen's trail for months, Rachel said. Let's expose her. With Jake's legal expertise, Lisa's insider knowledge, Rachel's investigative skills, and my tech savvy, we formed a secret team. I set up encrypted chats for HOA rebels, connecting with other victims people fined for trivialities like oversized bird feeders or unapproved swing sets, all forced to sell. As we dug, Pinnacle's plan became clear. Acquire key properties, including mine, within 90 days for a resort with condos and a golf course. My cabin's peninsula was slated for a restaurant. The pressure was crushing. Fines hit $20,000, and my cabin deteriorated from the unrepaired roof. One stormy night, I nearly gave up, tempted to sell and walk away. But memories of my dad and grandfather rebuilding this dock after a hurricane steeled my resolve. Then, I overheard Karen on her deck, her voice carrying across the lake. The Evans cabin will be mine in 60 days. I've got the first payment already. Her arrogance ignited my fight. We went on the offensive. Jake found Karen's rule changes lacked the required 75% homeowner vote. I followed her rules to the letter, painting my cabin in approved beige but in garish polka dots. I added a 6-foot gnome, code enforcer, glaring at Karen's mansion. Neighbors joined in, planting their own rebellious lawn ornaments. I launched an anonymous site, HOA Watchdog, exposing Karen's abuses with documents and recordings. Rachel uncovered Greg Foster's conflict of interest. His brother's firm was promised resort contracts. Lisa's records showed properties sold 30% below market to Pinnacle's shell companies. Karen fought back, blocking my road, piling on absurd fines. My fence was too rustic, and denying repair permits. Then she crossed a line. Someone sabotaged the forest trail, digging trenches that risked stranding me in an emergency. I filed complaints with Sheriff Tom and Fire Marshal Sam Torres, Ellen's grandson, citing safety hazards. Karen's email dismissal, Evans must handle his own access, was gold. Sam issued a citation, forcing her to fix the road with HOA funds, sparking resident questions about her spending. The tide turned when Ellen tipped me off. Karen planned to inspect my cabin while I was away, likely to fake violations. I upgraded my security, more cameras, microphones, and a multi-cannon paint system. I faked a getaway, posting about a weekend trip and hiding in a blind near my cabin. At midnight, Karen, Greg, and 4 HOA loyalists crept in, carrying tools to find violations. My microphones caught Karen's orders. Check the wiring and beams. We need 3 big violations. She even bragged about Pinnacle payments on a call. I played her words back through hidden speakers, freezing her crew in panic. Then, I unleashed the paint blue on Karen, yellow on Greg, green and pink on the rest. As they fled to Barbie Girl, blaring, Sheriff Tom arrived with Ellen and witnesses, tipped off by my vandalism report. I showed the footage, including Karen's confession. She was cuffed, still dripping paint, screaming about her powerful friends. Pinnacle tried one last play, claiming my land based on a dubious 1970s survey. Jake spotted the forgery ink too fresh, markers misaligned. In my basement, I found my grandfather's deed, revealing his land was a federal veterans grant, exempt from local rules. Rachel uncovered Karen's 15-year-old rezoning scam, privatizing public lakefront with fake environmental studies. We fought back. Jake challenged Pinnacle's claim, Rachel published a Tribune expose, Sam flagged safety violations, and I built a site mapping Cedar Lake's corrupt history. When Karen falsified my tax records, claiming $70,000 in unpaid taxes, my receipts proved her fraud. The county traced it to Greg's credentials, escalating the scandal. Pinnacle buckled, abandoning the project after confirming my cabin's federal protection. At a packed community meeting, we ousted the HOA board, naming Ellen interim chair. We rewrote the covenant, restored public lake access, and launched environmental repairs. Karen faced charges for fraud, trespassing, and corruption. Greg turned state's witness. Pinnacle sued her, cutting ties. My cabin was officially HOA exempt, untouchable. At a lakeside barbecue, I unveiled my paint cannon as a kid's fountain, a symbol of our rebirth. Neighbors, once silenced, laughed and planned fishing tournaments. Rachel's reporting won awards, and our friendship grew into something more. Karen sent a jailhouse letter, vowing revenge, but I pitted her delusion, filing it beside my Paint Cannon 2.0 sketch. When Greenview Partners offered triple market value for an eco-retreat, I scrawled, "Not for sale" on it, honoring my dad's words. This is our legacy. Cedar Lake thrives now, a testament to fighting bullies with grit and a splash of paint.